Hi, this is Trepacer. Welcome to Trepacer Saturday Horror Reviews. This is episode 17, I believe. Uh, and of course, I'm here to review a horror movie. And I got to review a movie that actually won in a contest almost 2 years ago, I think. That I think of it, or maybe a year ago, but I think it was probably 2 years ago. From a YouTuber, I don't think makes videos anymore. He was a filmmaker. I can't remember his name now. The saddest span of my life. Okay, but anyway, he had a contest, and I won a bunch of movies from him, and he sent me a couple of horror titles. And I think this is the last one that I haven't watched, because the others I watched. He sent me The Collector, and I think then this movie, and I just never got around to watching it. And I was looking for something to watch for the horror reviews, and this movie that I watched, pulled this movie, and I read the description and said, so yeah, this qualifies. This is sort of a sci-fi action horror movie, and it's 2009's Pandorum. Okay, there it is. Starring Dennis Quaid, Ben Foster, and believe it or not, they have the girl that played the actress who played what's her name in Superman, and that's in and Man of Steel, who played I can't remember this chick's name. I can't pronounce it. It's going to be hard as hell. Who played Fiora, okay, and I can't pronounce her name. It's going to be I'm going to butcher this. Ancha True, okay, who's actually gorgeous. Anyway, but that's beside the point. But anyway, she's in this movie as well. Okay, and I realized when I was watching this movie that she was familiar to me. She looked familiar. I couldn't quite place it until I saw what her name was in the credits, and that's who it is. She plays a kind of a supporting role in this movie. Anyway, this is about two astronauts that wake up. This is supposed to be set in the future where basically the Earth is overpopulated, and resources are getting extremely limited. So Earth sends a probe out to discover planets that are Earth-like, so they can take people off the planet and send them there. So before the Earth runs out of resources. Okay, so I think it's set in like 2149, something like that. Some that future time, because they in the beginning of the movie they kind of explain it to you. They break it down that way. Anyway, you have two astronauts, like I said, Ben Foster, who plays Bauer, and then Dennis Quaid, who plays Peyton. Bauer and Foster wakes up first. Of course, like I said, they wake up stranded on a spacecraft, and they discover that they wake up from a hypersleep, because I think that the thing is getting to that planet that's Earth-like features is supposed to take 123 years. So of course they have to go in hypersleep so they can sleep and be frozen through part of the getting there. Okay, because of course you couldn't live normally that long, so they're supposed to be in hypersleep and then wake up when it's time to get there. Anyway, they wake up and they can't remember anything. They kind of one of the conditions of hypersleep, I guess you get disoriented and you get amnesia and you can't quite remember, of course. So slowly, and they also see that the ship is kind of drifting, and basically what happens is, and they can't really get outside of that there's a chamber that they're in, and they can't quite get out of it because the door is locked to get to the excuse me, the bridge and see what's going on. So Bauer decides, with Lieutenant Peyton, Dennis Quaid guiding him. Excuse me, he goes up through the ceiling and basically tries to go through the ship with Lieutenant Peyton, who has some communications in that little cargo bay that they're stuck in. See if he can guide him to get to the reactor core and reset it before the ship basically explodes. Anyway, so basically this movie is a sci-fi, like I said, sci-fi because it's set in space, action and horror as well, because they discover, much to their chagrin, as Bauer discovers, that he's not alone. Okay, and he slowly but surely starts to remember little pieces of his past. You see, he starts. As also when he wakes up, he's in the room where he is in. He has a locker there, and he has an image of a girl there, and not an image, a photograph of a girl there. So, excuse me, he gets little remembrances of her. And like I said, he slowly but surely he starts to remember stuff as he's going through, and he discovers also, like I said, he's not alone on the ship. That there's other people there. They have people, people that wandering, and like I said, the ship is basically, off course and sort of damaged, and not sort of damaged, it's damaged, and he discovers that there's other people on there, and while he's trying to communicate, keep up communication with Lieutenant, and of course, he encounters several people, and without spoiling it, let me just say, some of the things that he encounters, basically, he basically has to run for his life, because there's these creatures on board, that are basically out to kill him and eat him, literally, and he encounters other people that are allies and other people that want to hurt him as well, and it's a really fascinating movie. Like I said, Ben Foster, like I said, he's the main protagonist in this. Like I said, Dennis Quaid character, he stays back in the bay that they woke up in, so he can communicate with him. But during the course of that, he kind of loses communication with him. But there's this other situation that happens with him. He encounters something as well, and this is a really good. This sort of reminds me of sort of Alien in a way. Alien, and also what's that movie? Event Horizon. That's what it reminds me of. It's a combination of Event Horizon and Aliens, to me. Okay, it's a really good, interesting movie. Like I say, pay attention. But I think this is the type of movie that you have to, I think, watch maybe twice to get everything, because they kind of slowly unfold things as it goes. As Ben Foster's character Bauer, encounters different things, different situations, and like I said, he's running for his life and also racing against time to get to the reactor before it reset. I think the reactor is going to explode and shut everything down, and of course they're going to crash. Okay, and like I said, he encounters some people that are allies, some people that and these things that are on the ship that basically want to eat him, kill him, and eat him, and literally. And I enjoyed this movie. It was Pandora. It was good. Like I said, Dennis Quaid was good. But, like I said, Ben Foster is like the main character in this. Him and like I said, the girl, because I can't pronounce her name, and I'm not going to butcher her name again. The girl that played Viora in Man of Steel. She's, he meets up with her, and then another guy, like I said, and also Norman Reedus, from Walking Dead. He's in this as well in a little brief role, but it's a good movie. It's intense, and it's action. You have suspense, and of course you have the horror with these creatures, these things that they're trying to escape from and run from, and try not to be eaten from, literally. Trying to get to the reactor core, to reset everything so they can find out exactly where they are and stop the ship from drifting. Okay, and it's like I said, you have Dennis Quaid. He's in the command center there. Not quite the command center, but the little storage bay that they wake up in, and he has little communications there, and he can monitor things. And of course, he encounters someone as well, which I don't want to spoil because it kind of leads to a spoiler in this. But he has his own little side little adventure there, which they keep flashing back between that and also from Ben Foster's character Bauer with him and his allies trying to get, like I said, to the reactor core and reset everything. And it's a really intense movie. Like I said, the suspense is good in it, and like I said, good horror elements. You have these creatures that look really, really disgusting that just basically literally chasing them. Like I said, want to eat them and stuff. It's really a suspenseful movie, and it's good. Like I said, but I think it's a little confusing. They like I said, because the characters, his memories kind of scramble. He slowly remembers things as he goes along. He can't, he doesn't remember everything because, like I said, one of the conditions of hypersleep is that you get you're disoriented and you get kind of temporary amnesia until you slowly remember things and everything. And also the title of this, Pandorum, that's a condition. That's when you start. It's basically when you, it's kind of, what you call space sickness. Okay, and that is a concern in this movie, whether, certain characters have that condition and what it causes them to do, okay, and so, that's what Pandorum means. But like I said, this movie was entertaining, but ultimately, things slowly unfold, and, and then you kind of figure out things that happen, and then they kind of spell things out. But I think this is the kind of movie that you probably would have to watch it twice to get everything, because the first, I watched this once tonight, and then I went to kind of read the reviews of it, and then things that I had questions about, people answered, but I don't think you could get it straight away. So while I think this movie is entertaining and good, some things are not as clear as they could be. I think, and I guess it makes you think. So I guess that's a good thing, when you're trying to figure out what's happening and what the situation is and what's real and what's not real. Okay, so I would give overall. I found it entertaining. Like I said, I like Ben Foster and Dennis Quaid, two good actors. Okay, and the girl that played Fiora in this movie is gorgeous, and she can really kick butt in this movie as well too. So I would give overall Pandorum. I would give Pandorum a 7 out of 10. Okay, like I said, it's interesting, keeps your attention, keeps you involved in the story, and you care for the characters. Specifically, you care for his character. Like I said, he is basically the star of the movie because he kind of the majority of this time is spent with him. Okay, and to a lesser extent Dennis Quaid's character, but it kind of all ties in towards the end. Like I said, which I don't want to spoil. Again, I give it a 7 out of 10 for Pandorum. Okay, it was entertaining, totally worth watching. And like I said, it's kind of a combination of Event Horizon and Aliens, I would say. Okay, definitely, but totally worth watching. So anyway, let me know what you think. If you've seen Pandorum, what do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below. And also, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button down below. And this is Trepacer for Trepacer Saturday's Horror Reviews, saying so long and take care.